Dire team ban. Radiant team pick.
Alright, we're back. Game 3, decider Mineski versus Execration. Winner goes through the winner bracket finals, loser drops down. Loses one of their lives, so to speak, I guess. Everyone has kind of 2 lives in this playoff scenario. Well, kind of. If you get to the grand finals, you don't get a second life, so...
But you're at the grand finals.
Yeah, you're in the grand finals, so... Small consolation there, but Game 3 draft here, coming up. Mineski versus Execration.
First time to see Meepo not being taken out in this first phase, but... Looks like Execration is gonna go back with the Slaughter and Earth Spirit. Worked really well for them last game, so... You know, let's do it again.
And Mineski, interesting is something we saw, they chose to have second pick. They had choice advantage, didn't choose Dire side or Radiant side, chose second pick. What do you think about first pick, second pick, and all that, and where things stand right now?
I think when you could get first pick in Dire side and pick up Slaughter, like how Execration is doing it here, it's like, that's a pretty big advantage when it adds up. But in terms of first pick versus second pick, I think a lot of it comes down to specific teams. If you have certain strats in mind, certain heroes they want to pick. Like for example, if I know I'm going to pick Lycan, I might want to be on the Dire side more for the Roche. I don't know, beyond that though.
Yeah. Well, Execration, they chose Radiant. I think we've seen probably a bit of a split with Radiant versus Dire.
Oh, sorry, I misspoke.
Yeah.
On the bottom side, I assume it was Dire, but yeah.
Yeah.
Slaughter, Radiant, my bad.
Yeah, Radiant Slaughter, and they had first pick and took the Slaughter.
Yes.
Almost to probably make sure Mineski don't get their hands on a Dire Slaughter, which is
yeah. Well, Raging Potato Slaughter is also very good.
Yeah.
It seems like Slaughter is the hero for this best of 3 set.
Yeah, it wasn't as influential in game number 2, but it was an offlane starter versus a safe lane.
Sure.
So it's like that's the nature of the hero. It's going to do more out of the safe lane than the offlane. So we'll see what Mineski do. And if Execration are going to be sticking with the offlane Slaughter for RR or doing something else with it. Venge comes out for Mineski, so getting their support duo very early on.
I mean, pretty much the same heroes being selected so far.
They're not running junglers. Mineski are very set in that they want to have 2 strong laning supports. We've seen that.
Jules been playing Enchantress, right, earlier.
Yeah, okay. So the Enchantress being the exception, but
yeah.
The Venge Witch Doctor being picked up together this game.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Chans, haven't seen any Enigma. I've seen teams doing Jungle Axes or Jungle Dooms. Haven't seen that from Mineski, so... Apart from the Enchantress, it's kind of be your traditional dual support.
Yeah. But it's much more early game centric as far as being able to pressure the lane, so when they do have the jungle, it's the Enchantress who can gank them. But Execration pick up pretty early game centric supports themselves, Dazzle Earth Spirit.
Dazzle's something that we haven't seen for quite a while.
And the Dazzle with the Slaughter, there's a lot of aggressive potential out of these 2 together.
Okay, so ban her for the first time not playing Puck. Are we going back for the Mirana? Actually, Nando played Puck in game 1, ban her in game 2. And I imagine he's going to be playing mid Mirana in the game 3.
Yeah. Perhaps a little bit flexible based on what Execration grab if you're worried about the matchup, but they'll know the matchup for Mirana once they get to the last pick, since one of the nice things about Mineski's position is they do have overall last pick of this draft.
Yep.
So
Execration is just going to go back with what worked.
Yeah. Why not, I guess, in some ways. But the why not is probably because Mineski are going to adapt and change what they do.
Yep.
So they're not likely to let the Sven just get away with sacking Ancients and just farming, getting out of control like he did in the previous game.
Yeah, I mean, what went wrong with the Mineski draft in game number 2 was that they picked a core that needed space and really can't help the team fights that much, apart from a random haunt or 2. So I like to see Mineski kind of adjust that a little bit more. Something like a Juggernaut, something that could fight relatively early. Although I don't really like Juggernaut versus Sven because Warcry really cuts up a lot of your damage output in the mid game.
Well, let's see what Mineski try to go for after Execration pick. They've got a full 2 minutes. I've seen so many teams get to their last pick and have 2 minutes of reserve time left.
That's
it almost
good.
Feels like, I mean, it's good, but I almost feel like reserve time needs to be like perhaps taken away to something, like some of it, not all, obviously, but it feels like there's too much time. And this is on a new patch as well, where in theory you should be.
I think on LAN you see teams really going down to the wire. To use the last couple of seconds.
It's rare every now and then I'll see a team like go through like 75% of the reserve time on like a first pick or something. I'm like, man, they're running out of the reserve time. Then you never really end up needing it.
Right. Right, Invoker. Coming back here
Reserve
versus
time.
Mirana.
Okay.
They both have pitiful damage.
Well,
But,
versus Puck, it turns out.
Carry Mirana. Okay. This is very scary for Slaughter to go up against. Because you could just chain stun. Get chain stun to death.
Yes. Agreed.
Like, you know how against most off lanes or safe laner, Slaughter could like eat a stun or two and then just sprint away?
Yeah.
That's not happening in this lane. Especially if Cass gets a Maledict, like, you could sprint under Maledict and you'll just die.
And once there's like a couple levels on the Mineski side, the Venge doesn't even have to be there. It can be just like a Witch Doctor Murano.
Right.
The Venge can go help other lanes and look to impact elsewhere on the map, so...
I feel like this draft for Execration was very similar to the last one where you have 3 essentially do nothing cores for the first 10 minutes.
10
I mean, Volker
seconds
might drop a
remaining.
Sunstrike here and there, but they're looking to just kind of get what they can in their own laning
5
stage.
seconds
And then
remaining.
at 15
essentially-
minutes, it's like they become 3 very scary cores.
Right, but who's going to tie you from 0 to 15, right? It's just on Tim's, right?
Yep.
This whole draft is on Tim's.
He did last game.
Yeah?
Yeah, hats off to this guy. I almost want to say MVP for game number 2 for Execration.
Well, let's see if he could be MVP for game 3 as well. Mirana so far walks down to the bottom lane. Got double circlets. I mean, we don't see it a little bit too often.
Aggro tri-lane potentially coming out. They've got the smoke ready. They at least want to invade this Radiant jungle, it looks like. 4-hero smoke potentially. Kimo in a position to pop that or potentially get popped himself.
Or both. If the missile connects, he's dead.
Do they?
But they actually seen the war being laid down.
They saw they saw the dazzle as well. They did catch
Oh,
vision
he's
of him.
dead. He's dead. Tango through for a magic missile.
Boots stun. He
Ooh.
arrowed.
Raging Potato just need to wait, man.
Are they going? They're committing. They're all under the tower. He goes great. That's very
Too early.
Grave.
He needs to juke now. Well, Sunstrike isn't gonna get the first blood.
Oh.
No, he stutter step, dodges it. Oh, the hammer's gonna hit under the tower. Gets one more hit, but he.
He had Fairy Fire. He
Okay.
could get that. He needed 2 right clicks at least, and with Fairy Fire it was not going to happen.
Well, that was pretty much the worst first blood attempt from Mineski, and they still got it.
Yeah. What a Venge play though. That stutter step. Anticipating the Sunstrike. Do you think he anticipated it, or if did he just stop moving
I
for
don't
some other reason?
Who knows?
Some of those like
The battle
you hype it up,
begins.
but
He probably just like. Yeah. More action here. Well, Prophet TP's up top to get the rune, so good thing for him too. Pretty big victory here from Mineski's side, all things considered.
yeah, 1 rune apiece. First blood. They're going to be aggro tri-laning as well, and Slaughter's got a long walk to get to that top lane. Prophet should do pretty nicely in this 1v1 against Slaughter.
All right, I'm gonna keep an eye out whether he picks up Blightstone or not, because he should. In a true 1v1 where you get so many right clicks in, and you have treants that you could send on the Slaughter too.
Do you like the Orb of Venom pick up? I guess maybe previously you'd get not anymore with
Yeah,
the-
previously you might consider it, but just the way that the Prophet playstyle for Bocarino is a lot of backstabbing, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like having the Blightstone helps out in that regard, and also you could push much easier with it too.
We'll see what he does. Is Blightstone a side shop item? Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I was looking at Blightstone from there.
It's quite good.
So bottom lane is a dual lane versus tri lane. It looks like Earth Spirit's actually roaming up top, deciding he can't really contest this bottom lane too well. But Observer is there to scout out rotations. such
Not
as
if he walks the other way around. No, he's going back mid. This is a tough kill too, especially before he hits level 2 or 3 where he gets the silence.
Well, Invoker's actually just short on mana too.
Yeah.
Having committed a Sunstrike and already using one... Not sure why he used a level 1 Forward Spirit when he's short on mana, but not the end of the world. Puck. Be very careful here.
I
The
mean-
Orbs to farm, I imagine he's
Yeah.
going to go for the roll. That's
If he doesn't commit the orb to farm, Puck should be relatively safe. He's still got that Fairy Fire that you mentioned earlier, so he should be okay.
Yeah. First Spirit's just being patient. He's going to go for the roll here. Hits it as well.
This is where if you have the Sunstrike, you go for the kill,
Yeah.
but he doesn't.
Probably should have... I guess he was hoping they could cold snap to perhaps cancel
Bottom
the
lane
initial
looks
roll.
like they're gonna make a dive here. 3 creeps onto the Sven. The arrow's gonna hit as well. The casket not gonna bounce here. No Maledict for this though. And now the stun onto 2. Nice turnaround here for Fernando. Can he actually get the last hit? He won't. And now Bocarino, well, teleported in. Not that he needed to.
I think he did need to.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got a couple right clicks.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Didn't see
He
that.
may have, without it, the Sven could have perhaps chased down that.
Sure.
Right
Okay.
click. Well, he didn't. Sven didn't have boots, but he did get right clicks off.
All right, Prophet's gonna open things up with the Ring of Besatus. Nice +7 damage.
Yep.
In lane.
Did get nerfed with the one less armor, but I think this is still a.
One more damage though.
Yeah, exactly. I think the item kind of is still very, very good and perhaps
Yeah,
being underbought now.
I'm surprised that they even gave it 1 damage. It should have straight up be an armor nerf. Mid lane, by the way, Ben-Hur dodges yet another gang, and we'll have the bottle coming shortly.
Invoker's completely mana depleting in this mid lane. Well, he's still going for the typical, well, Bassie's in / Ring of Aquila mid build.
It's all the craze these days.
All the cool kids are doing it at least. It's actually one of those things which it's like, if it wasn't for like these high profile players, namely RTZ doing it, who knows if it would even be a build.
Yeah, and then like you see some random kid doing pub, and you're like, you report, you know, like what are you doing?
Do you remember like the first time you saw it? Like it was, I think I saw it first in a pub before I even saw it in the pro game, and it was very much that reaction. Like,
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, I actually sat down and did the math on it. It like checks out, you know.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Ooh. And this is a Sunstrike.
He just tossed one out because he had a regen rune going, so.
No problem. And this Puck is struggling to sustain himself in this lane now.
Yeah, Invoker, once he hits 3, 4, 5, I'm not sure how Puck actually wins the lane. He really need ganks. And this offensive trial lane, if you rate it from 1 to 10 in terms of successful, they got the first blood, but how's it been since?
Farm. So let's see. Miranda 12 CS. Sven 13 CS.
Okay.
XP wise, level 2 supports on the dire side. Mirana is level 3, so Sven level 4. I would say success rate is like a 4 out of 10.
Oh wow, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was like
I-
5 or 6, but
I
yeah.
think it's been pretty ineffective. Like they haven't stopped Sven from farming. They haven't gotten kills. They're being out leveled.
Yeah.
I think most things are going wrong in the aggro trial.
Yeah, very good pull count that they blocked. There's a war between these
and the
teams.
one kill they got on the Sven required a Nature's Prophet TP, so it required a 4th hero as well.
And they almost like lost 2 heroes.
Yeah. So it was pretty sketchy as far as overall outcome.
By
Perhaps
the
not,
way,
maybe a 5 or a 6, but
yeah, Tim's strike again on top lane. Gets
Yeah.
the kill on hero on Nature's Prophet.
even though he hasn't killed the Puck mid, I feel like he did a great job just helping the Invoker win mid lane.
Yeah, he got the Invoker over the level hump of 2 and 3.
Yeah, there's something to be said for just winning your mid the lane even without getting killed as an Earth Spirit or Bounty Hunter, whatever it may be. Talk about ganks mid on the Invoker, they come, but the orb actually doesn't land, and Puck forced to defensively Dream Coil just to get them out of there.
Oh, no harm, no foul.
But no real gank opportunities for the next 65 seconds.
I like how Invoker just got a regen rune earlier and he's out of mana again.
Yeah,
apparently
this
zero.
minus intel, like I keep clicking him and just having this intel buff seems to really hurt Invoker. Sorry, intel nerf.
Yeah. What was it? He lost like a ton of intel earlier, right?
4, 6.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious. Let me see if I can check.
Oh wow, check him and keep an eye on the bottom lane here. Raging Potato. And like you said, not really farming that well. And unlike
He lost 6 base intel. Jesus, that's brutal.
yeah, Casket flying out on the bottom lane, but not really gonna get killed. The Rap's gonna come in though. Now the Sprout's gonna come through as well. They should have Grave available, but is he in range? Chemo. I want to say that he could have been in range, but I guess he did not expect his Sven to die that fast.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Perhaps a little bit too far, but yeah. Well, like you say, just didn't expect him to die that fast.
Radiant's
Yeah, level 1
structures
Grave is
are
actually pretty
fortified.
pitiful when it comes to cast range.
Radiant's bottom tower
Good micro
is
from a
under
Prophet
attack.
pulling the waves away and should get this tower relatively easily.
Puck with a haste rune getting aggressive on the mid Invoker, and here comes Venge from the side, so the Dream Coil goes down. Forward Spirit comes out, he throws a Sunstrike, that's not going to land though. He tried to walk back into it, but didn't find it. He's still hugging his Forward Spirits, and the Golem's not really working in Mineski's favor. Ben-Hur could be in some trouble here. One more Forward Spirit right click, not going to be enough with the bottle toggle.
Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, a whole bunch of heroes supported in, including a Slaughter gets a kill on Prophet and protects the T1 tower.
And Puck still kiting around with Tim's here, turns around, dodges the boulder smash. Tim's could actually go down here.
No mana for missile,
Podcast
no mana for orb.
He just got it, but didn't want to go for it. If he commits the orb, then he could just be mincemeat.
Yeah. So, oh, and dodges the Sunstrike as well. Ben-Hur is gonna survive, go home. And this early game is kind of all over the place. So, comparing it to the last game, I feel like Mineski's in a much better place. The Sven is not even stacking at this point, right? With his helm yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't have helm.
And last game, Mineski got a lot of early kills and picks, but it was never on towards the Sven.
Right, not on the right target.
Yeah, this game Sven has died twice. He's not free farming. He actually went like he isn't able to even rush the helm. Last game he had perhaps brown boots with the helm. Maybe even didn't get brown boots, but it was much more like let's just go straight into this ancient stacking Sven build. And this time around, it's not going to happen for some time. But you can always look to something they could consider is just manually stacking them.
Sure.
Anytime someone's nearby.
Granted, though, Invoker is going to come online much earlier than Mirana farming Axe would. So, I think Execration is still okay. And it looks like Jules is already preparing for the Ancient Stacks as he drops the Sentry and blocks it. Always a good thing to do versus this Sven.
Yeah.
Bottom lane, Sven again having trouble. Gets initiated by Wrath of Nature, the Sprout, and the cast, but does have the backup. In fact, here comes Tim's.
Also, Wrath of Nature committed to that. Not a spell you want to just be throwing around in the early game. You typically want to try and save it for gank opportunities.
Yeah, not only did it do a little bit damage, it might have taken one or two Sven's neutrals that he was farming, so maybe it was worth it.
Ara top, getting initiate on, and looked up Mineski doing a whole lot better this game. It's not just Sven who's struggling, it's the Slaughter.
Yeah.
Once more, getting ganked up now, although he's had a much better game compared to last. Boots 4-man shield, he was very close to that Blink Dagger.
So who's gonna be lifting the heavy duty on the mid game?
For Execration, it's gonna come out from the Slaughter Blink. He's gonna, I imagine Execration is like, try and get to the Slaughter Blink without giving away any more kills if possible, or at least giving away as fewer kills as possible, and then start using your smokes. Smoke up Slaughter plus Earth Spirit plus Dazzle, and then have Invoker like throw Sunstrikes.
Sure. Yeah, unlike last game, where you have to kind of bring a Sven to make things work, you have a Sunstrike to back you up now, so.
I think 3 hero smoke and then Sven plus Invoker farm is probably the right idea.
Sure.
And those 3 heroes aren't looking to like find a big push / team fight, just find like a one Nature's Prophet or a Mirana or something. Speaking of Mirana, will be the Ags build once again. Phase, Aquila, Point Booster. So we're not seeing the Midas build, but seems the main difference between the SEA Miranas and the Miranas I've seen from other regions is the Midas versus no Midas.
Again, I think the Midas in this game might be dangerous. Like by the time you have Midas Axe, the Sven might have his whole set. And you just can't fight that, so gotta pick up the tempo versus some of these very dangerous mid-game cores.
And Midas does straight up slow down your Ag Scepter.
It does.
If you're going Ags first.
It slows down your Ag Scepter, but it increases the item that you pick up afterwards. But by that time, the game could be over if Nando gets his momentum going.
And as a farming item, you shouldn't be too concerned about falling off in terms of farm when you have an Ags as a Mirana.
Right.
Level-wise, it's always nice, even just for stats growth, but also just ensuring you can max out all your spells. But here we go. Swoop towards mid lane, Mineski, throw an arrow. Oh, Abed. He tanks it. There's a grave there, but they may just be able to kill him throughout the grave. Abed doesn't get the grave off.
Chemo.
The burst damage perhaps just happening a bit too fast. Ara now the mid lane. Death Ward is there. Chemo. He missed all 3 graves.
It just shows that he's not really well versed on this hero. Maybe a hero that he hasn't played for a while.
You have an off game where you're really trying to push the limit and trying to get the grave at the last second, and then Mineski knowing that, throw a bunch of burst damage. And
yeah. I mean, can't miss those graves too much. Slaughter gold check still at 1800. Like you said earlier, they want to get to that blink without losing any kills. Well, they lost, 3 kills, perhaps 2 towers after this.
Yeah, 3 and 2 towers is to me already much more than they wanted. Like 1 or 2 kills would have been like okay, we can work with this, but
yep.
Those 2 towers and 3 kills, they won't even get the denied. Prophet got the last hit for both. Suddenly we're looking at drums. Most of them mech completed for Mineski on the Nature's Prophet. And I imagine the gold graph, yeah, that took a bit of a dip. 5,000 Mineski's way. Possibly even more once it refreshes.
What do you feel about the mech on Prophet? He also got it last game, which you could explain just because they're behind. But you know, when you're ahead like this, do you offer things like Orchid?
It's not better when you're ahead in some ways.
I mean, I guess it kind of works both ways, right? You have more HP to work with when you dive and get kills.
You can be more, you can be more aggressive, and if you want to control the early to mid game, having a mech is a big advantage.
But what about something like a little bit more traditional, like the Orchid or maybe Maelstrom for more farming?
I think Orchid is the situation, like if there's a hero you really need the silence for. In this game, I would say that hero doesn't exist so much.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you can silence someone like an Invoker to help gank him, but it's not like a requirement to gank him. Whereas if you're versing a Queen of Pain or a Puck or something, it's a requirement if you're going to kill these heroes. You can kill Invoker just by having Sprout. Or some kind of Puck initiation.
Fair enough. Sven's going to be going for the exact same build here. Already got the Yasha. Might need to go for like the SNY instead of the Blink first, but we'll see how he goes. Meanwhile, the Slaughter Blink also picked up, so that's the timing that you were talking about. You know, get a couple of smoke going, find a kill or two with the Sunstrike as well as the Earth Spirit. But it's Mineski that's actually invading the jungle and laying down some wards.
They didn't spot these three heroes though, so it doesn't look like they'll find them right away. And looks like with two smokes in hand, Execration are very much looking to use them soon. But Slaughter shows himself mid lane as well as shows his blink. The Nature's Prophet swoops in and does a decent amount of damage, and Mineski are like, well, they're kind of towards mid lane, let's take this tier 2. They know the blink is there, so they should just
scan though.
Split apart.
We'll see heroes coming in, so Dire side does know about it.
They're an arrow? Not yet. There's a sentry here to see them invis.
They want to fight this. They're not respecting the blink dagger. In fact, thinking about initiating. It's gonna be swapped, stunned. The crush is gonna hit on 4. Where's the AoE damage gonna come in the form of the Earth Spirit? Grave's gonna come out immediately on Lando, but is it gonna be enough? Cast is stunned up on the right side. The cast is the channeling ultimate is gonna be over. So far, it's gonna be a radiant victory. Raging Potato in the side, drops a Starstorm, looks for a snipe, does get the 1 kill. He's gonna try to get a TP out. Can he get a crush? Crush as well as the hammer is gonna get dropped. So not exactly the best trade for the Raging Potato. It's gonna end up a 3-for-1. They did get the tier 2, but that was a good victory here for Execration.
Or Spirit, Magnetize, good spell. I was about to say, well, like, it's one of those fights where, like, you think Core Hero should be doing the most, but no, Earth Spirit will do the most damage in your team. He tops the damage dealers with 1600 on the Radiant side.
Jeez.
Mirana did 1700 though, that fight. That's pre-Aghanim Scepter, jeez.
Well, I think Starstorm pretty much hit everybody there.
Yeah, that is true. What a Slaughter crush though. Execration pretty much come out on top of that fight just because of RR.
4-man crush. Well, let's not forget the Grave, right? Chemo casting it for the first time, or maybe second time.
He's
in
in
work
the game.
there. I hope he upgrades his Arcane Boot into, you know, Aether Lens so he gets...
I don't think Rage has been his problem though. He needs an item to improve his cast time. That would maybe be like the future. Like, I mean, Ice Road keeps adding new items, not new heroes. Next new item, increase cast time of spells.
I think adding new items actually complicate the game much more than adding a new hero would.
Yeah, because there's already so many heroes to learn, but items like all these items they're adding are very just kind of dynamic as well.
Yeah, it's not just about who you get it on, but when you get it on, what time you get it on.
Like all the different interactions. Like the best example would be Lotus Orb. When that item got added, it was just like what's Dota now? Like everyone theory crafted the shit out of it, and now you just see it every now and then, and it's not actually that influential. But
one is influential though. It's great though. Yeah. Like dispelling hexes and whatnot. Roshan's happening. This is some risky stuff. They will be able to get it, but here comes Execration.
Nice wave, cancels the Slaughter's blink, and immediately Execration back off.
Coil, break some TP. Not the $1 million Dream Coil.
If this tournament was for $1 million, I'm sure it would have hit that though.
Would it?
That's what he's saying. He's saying it's not $1 million tournament, so I'm not gonna give you $1 million Dream Coil, guys.
I mean, if you get to Manila, you could win. Isn't the whole tournament 3 million, right?
Yeah.
What's first price? Is it $1 million? No, it's not.
I don't know. I feel like it should be at least. TI, you get like what, a third of the prize pool for first place, roughly.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit more. Yeah, it's around that.
Is he dead? Dead horror?
Yeah, yes.
Well, like we predicted, once the items come online, Execration does have a lot of things to play with.
Yeah, and it is the early blink you talked about for the Sven.
Yeah.
Same build as last game, but still, like you mentioned, like he needs to get that blink faster, and they're getting a lot of use out of it already. Sven topping the net worth chart. And, like you look at Mineski, like going late game, Ags Mirana, Puck, Nature's Prophet. These are not a Puck, Nature's Prophet with a mech. This is not like your dream late game lineup.
It's not. At the same time, though, they do have a lot of like quick single target pickoff. You mentioned it earlier with the swap scythe, which I imagine Nature's Prophet will pick up. And once you isolate a target, Mirana could do a ton of damage as well. But you're right, like it's very gimmicky. It's not very reliable, and I just rather have a Sven that's hitting hard every hit.
And something they had last game, which worked really well, especially towards the later stages, was having it was the Slider with the Mirana, where Slider blinks in, crushes one, and Mirana blinks in, does a double Starstorm. You don't really have that. I mean, Puck can blink in Dreamcore, which is decent, but it's not like that short cooldown stun which you can spam out for constant pickoffs.
They're gonna try to go on mid lane. Chemo's gonna tank the gank for the team, I think. In fact, they're gonna go on Abbott. Abbott's gonna get coiled up and
be cancelled.
All right, they're gonna get double kills out of this. Swap's gonna break the coil. Abbott looks like he's gonna just right click.
Nice safe play from Bok, keeping him with the mech, and he'll never run back up. But Nando, all he can really do is sit back and watch as he's farming away top lane, probably thinking about some split push here as Mineski run to high ground.
Yeah, not much mana to work with, at least on the Prophet. But he's already made his trees. Working on that tier 3 is not going to be the fastest push. And Mineski gotta be extremely careful, right? Mech's on cooldown for a while. And Earthspear could come in and just wreck things up.
Yeah. Prophet TP's home, but has a teleportation to get back. And he will get his mana back out of this.
Yeah, that's going to be it for the push. Yep. Slaughter looking to chase.
Prophet wants to TP bottom. He makes sure there's no fights happening first, and
shadows take us.
you'll be right. They're gonna re-engage. Oh, no, Prophet didn't actually TP bottom. He held on to the teleport, so they are re-engaging mid.
Is there sentry available?
It's not down, that's for sure. Sven, Nando, he's not ready for this. Casca's there with the waiting rip, and without a BKB, Nando could just be done for.
Give him the grave!
Okay,
go.
Grave is there for now. The Treants are coming in as well. Is this going to be enough for the Dream Call? They'll kill him off. Nature's Prophet getting the last hit. Ooh.
Where are them detection at?
Further back. Although I think this sentry was even planted after the fight anyways, yeah.
Well, that's going to be wrapped if we don't see a buyback. He does have to go for it, but definitely doesn't want to use it. Raging Potato walking in, just clean things up. All right, one man crush, gotta get out of there. In fact, it's gonna take way too much damage. Here comes the buyback. Sven needs to blink and go for it. Here comes the Earth Spirit trying to set things up, but misses on everything. Here comes the blink, but phase Nando not connecting, and now they're in a lot of trouble. Focusing on Raging Potato, another 3-man waiting rip. Abed in a lot of trouble as well. He's gonna go down. Nando's still stunned up. In fact, he can kill him second time, swap him back in, and this is gonna be a dieback. Arrow's gonna connect. There's gonna be a grave. He stuns up. He's angry. He's trying to right click the clear damage coming through. Can he do it? Not enough. Aegis finally gets popped. Buybacks are raining through, and Slaughter is the only man alive. Him against all 4 of Mineski.
Quick question: how much damage do you think Miranda did that fight without looking?
I think he did the most damage on his team.
Yeah, for sure, but 2.5k maybe. He did 3k damage. Oh my god, that is absurd. I'm just watching that entire fight, like Starstorm after Starstorm, constantly getting refreshed by Agadim's Scepter. That is insane. Raging Potato just goes straight into BKB with after that fight, and they claim a full lane of Rex.
I am super impressed with Mirana's. Like, I did not think he would do that much damage. I always thought this was like a gimmicky farming build.
Oh, I saw the change too. I'm like, maybe situational, or you could, like you say, kind of gimmicky farming build that could work, but no, it's... Every time I see it, I'm starting to think like this is actually the core build to go on Miranda now.
The fact that it'll just do it regardless if you're stunned or not, and every 8 seconds.
Doesn't chew away your mana or anything like that. You've just got constant sustainable damage coming out. So... Miranda in a good place now.
Well, let's not kid ourselves though. All these team fights against Execration, they've never really fought. They start at 5v5. You know, it's always one person dead. So Execration, at least for them, they need to really find a fight, you know, on their own terms. Start with that Blink Dagger that hit a couple of hero on, with the crush. Earth Spirit unfortunately also missed on everybody with his spells.
Yeah, everyone just kept going in and kind of airballing things, so made Nando's buyback not worth it, and also chews away at his economy where he was getting close to a BKB, but now gets set back and has to farm up that last little 1400 gold to complete it.
You think it's gonna be BKB, or he feels like, okay, I need an item right now?
It's BKB. Yeah, he picks up the Mithril Hammer.
Okay.
He's close enough to it that I think you look at that last fight and how he dies, and if he has BKB, at least he can stay alive.
Yeah. Well, he needs a Quelling Blade. He's getting sprouted too.
Yep. Well,
I mean, we all saw what happened to RTZ.
please, not like this.
No Octarine on the Prophet yet, but maybe down the line. Speaking of Prophet, Maelstrom, Mech, Ultimate Orb.
I mean, the Swap Hex will be the next, I guess, objective.
Sure.
Bit of everything. The Mech, I mean, we've seen just teamfight push, the Maelstrom slightly farming it, item. Puck's getting more damage for the team as well, has Dagon and a Veil coming, so it goes back for the Veil a little bit later.
Okay.
But, cool. Radiant Jungle, they've found Chemo and they've killed Chemo.
Nah, man. TP. No?
He's cast. They didn't. They yeah.
Smart. Yeah.
He held the cast roll the entire time.
Make him use it. Trigger 50 gold for his like 100 mana.
14-second cooldown. Yeah. The cooldown's not really there. 140 mana. Don't know if that's considered worth.
Hashtag not worth.
I guess the 50 gold doesn't really matter.
All right. Well, what's your play if you're Mineski? Do you just be a little bit patient and wait for the next Roshan, or you look at this Sven and he's getting relatively scary as well?
If you went right this second, there'd be no Sven BKB, which is nice, but I think you just kind of accept that Sven is going to be a big late game, is going to have the items, so you're better off waiting for Aegis Roshan before you go for a push, perhaps.
Okay.
This soon, so...
Raging Potato is going to come up and take a couple of pot shots. It's not just a Sven, too. With every level coming by, which sadly, if you look at Invoker, he's level 13. But this Invoker technically will get stronger as well. I say technically because he's just dying.
So Roche, medium-sized respawn, minute 40 from now. But the game plan seems to be just kind of keep these lanes pushed out a bit, farm the map as much as possible, and wait for the next Roche.
Yeah.
Don't really see why not. Pressure's on Execration to contest if they want. They get a gem, so this is almost the time we're seeing more and more now just on teams when they're in these desperation positions, and also it's going to be good this game against the Moonlight Shadow.
Yeah. Quite necessary, this game.
This whole series, Moonlight Shadow has just been getting way too much done.
Which is, you know, generally the case when a new hero comes in, you just, you know, forget what you need to do against it. You know, like a lot of people are very well versed playing against Bounty Hunter, but around Moonlight, apparently everybody needs a little bit of time.
So, Execration. Do you think they want to go contest Roche, or are they just going to have to be high ground defenders?
I think they can actually. Like, they're a team that could kill people so fast that, you know, if you fight a good fight around Roshan and you still got that God Strength taking, you can even take the Roche. And you have multiple Blink Daggers, right? So
well, the smoke suggests that they agree with what you're saying, and they're going to make their way through their own jungle. They want to kind of clear things out here. They've got the gems, so they'll see these wards. They're not going to clear them out just yet, but they want to get to the Roche pit, make sure Mineski's not doing it, and then probably just set up to be able to contest it. Get wards up themselves in the area. They won't see Roche. Oh, they may actually scout out Roche respawning if they pop their heads in very soon.
Invoker was stun striking at the area as well, so maybe he'll chop another one. But this tier 1 tower being here is just a really pesky thing that Mineski... looks like they're going to have to TP back and defend.
And Chemo didn't have any wards to put down as well, which is often like you go for that deep smoke, you need to have wards to like put on one of these cliffs.
Yeah, generally a mistake for support players. If you know you're going to smoke soon, have a ward on you, at least.
Yep.
Speaking of which, how are we doing on detection? Because here comes the Moonlight Shadow.
They've gem on Sada.
Right. Well,
so where
he's
is
in a very
Sada?
good position, too.
Yeah, needs to make sure he gets that blink out.
Yeah. Well, both teams sees Roshan is up.
Oh, Mineski just going to go hard right at it, and Execration have a smoke on Chemo. They can make their move over that way. I imagine they will do so.
Do they have enough time?
Yeah, they should. Okay, there's the medallion. Actually,
I think you just, in that case, just smoke in front of them and just go.
And take the fight against the Aegis?
Yeah. No. Like, even though they see your smoke,
Okay.
just do it. But it seems like they spent too long clearing up creeps and whatnot.
They thought they had more time. I mean, I thought they would have had more time. The physical damage doing a lot better than anticipated.
Medallion's the thing now with the Roshan getting buff.
Yeah.
Minus
7 armor with the Wave of Terror. They actually had a good amount of physical damage because of that.
I actually, in these qualifiers, I see like a resurgence of Medallion quite a bit. Mostly on Vengeance, because how well it synergizes, but...
I think without Medallion there, Execration actually get there in time to contest.
Yeah. And who knows how the game goes.
Well, anyways, Mineski secure Roshan. We'll be going for another high ground push. Is the Hex up yet? No. So swap Hex could be a timing Mineski wait for so they can find pickoffs on Sven. Like Sven wants to push out the lane, well, swap Hex, he's dead.
Yeah.
I say dead. There is a potential grave from Dazzle, but...
Who knows?
Who knows indeed.
Even Nando doesn't know.
He's not banking on it. He's gonna play around as if he doesn't have a Dazzle on his team for the grave.
Which is generally a good way to play. As I've learned. Alright,
yeah,
so...
SEA pubs have had a similar experience to Nando.
In SEA pubs, I've never even seen a Dazzle. Supports just don't exist.
Any Dazzle's like, I'm going mid or something. Mid or feed.
Alright, so how important do you think it is to actually kill Raging Potato in the beginning of the fight? Like, is he like having the Death Prophet effect where the longer you don't kill him, the worse it is for you? Yes,
but I think he is having an effect, but I also think you can't kill him at the start of the fight because he's got 1675 HP, Aegis, BKB. I think you're in a tough spot because you can't really kill him, you also can't fight him too well. So unless he's like diving in past towers by himself to go on you, you almost have to ignore him to some extent.
And it's hard. You can blink, leap.
Yep.
You know, on top of what you said about the BKB and Aegis, so... Oh, everybody is weaved up. Not gonna help you. Swap, immediate Hex. That's the time we're talking about. The Crush, though, looking pretty good. Nando is gonna get graved up. The question is, can he actually sustain himself? He's trying to lifesteal. He's getting killed up, but it's not gonna be enough. They don't even kill the Venge. Raging Potato comes in and just cleans up. Meanwhile, on the back line, sprouting everybody. I mean, Earth Spirit trying what he can, but not gonna be enough. Looks like Execration. Oh, actually, hold that thought. Buyback coming in here. The Cleave, not going to be enough damage. Another Hex coming through.
I mean, the buyback without the Godswing, Sven just doesn't cut. He also doesn't have a BKB, and Execration have lost 3 already. The Sven's going to make it 4, and Mirana doesn't care with the Aegis. Sven dies back. GG is called. Execration knocked down to the lower bracket here in the playoffs of the Southeast Asian qualifier for the Manila Major.
So, that was kind of your expected result, but... they put up a much better fight than...
yeah, I mean the 2 games Mineski won were both very convincing, but I guess game 2 for Execration was also kind of convincing.
Okay.
So, Mirana picks looking good. Slada does lose game 3, but won game 1 and 2.
Dazzle 0% win rate.
Yeah. I mean, Invoker 0% win rate.
Sure.